My name is, I'm Louis' sister, Margaret Costa, and I live in Santa Rosa. I'm in the congregation, Santa Rosa congregation, UU congregation. And of course, this is my home fellowship, and it's always a pleasure. I just feel the vibrations of my parents and my life and my youth. So it's a lovely always when I get to come. Thank you.
Thank you. And if for anyone who is a relatively new person, we do have a welcome table right outside the sanctuary. And of course, for everybody here, we have coffee and conversation in the social room following the service. And if you're at home viewing us online and you're not receiving our newsletter and you would like to, please email the office or visit our website at uufc.org so you can learn more about us. And I would have a few announcements. Also, if you look at your order of service on the back side, there are a number of announcements. I'm not going to read them all, so please read through them. And if you want more information, you can always look at the newsletter that is emailed to everyone who has asked for it. The first announcement is Alan Goldsmith is forming a UUFC experimental play group, and it's going to do things like improv comedy exercises, theater games, charades, and occasional outings to things like a bowling alley or miniature golf course. So if you're interested, please contact Alan. He's sitting right up front, and he'll be more than happy to tell you all about it. And today at noon, there will be a class on Buddhism. This is a monthly class, and today it's going to be meeting in the sanctuary. It's going to be led by Jean Malgrim. And if you want more information, please contact Renee Medola, who happens to be in the social room watching the service online. And last but not least, in August, or by August 10th, if you're interested in circle suppers, you need to register. There's a big yellow poster board sitting on the opportunity table. And it's a good way to get to know everybody. And if you're interested in doing it, contact Jackie Renzi, who happens to be sitting in the second row, and she can tell you all about it, and it is a good way to get to know people. If you don't know if you can commit to monthly dinners, you can sign up as an alternate. So please take a look, talk to her if you have questions. And our speaker is someone many of you already know, because she grew up in this congregation. Her name is the Reverend Evie Stevens. She grew up in the congregation, and that experience inspired her to go into ministry. After attending the Union Theological Seminary in New York City, she was ordained in this room, and then went on to serve congregations in Utica, New York, and Charlotte, North Carolina. After the birth of her second child, Eve went on a hiatus from full-time ministry to have more time with her kids, both of whom are here. She currently works as a health coach with a naturopathic doctors in Asheville, North Carolina, where she lives with her husband, Steve, and their children, Ethan and Hank, and her sister, Lee, who's right here, who also grew up in this congregation just down the road. And Eve is doing our opening words.
Thank you for having me. It's so good to see familiar faces and all these people who helped Lee and I become who we are. So thanks for having me. The Abbess Zenki Blanche Harmon describes the Zen Buddhist practice of beginner's mind like this. She says, beginner's mind means trying again and again to face life like a small child, full of curiosity, wonder, and amazement. This means relinquishing our preconceptions and expectations, judgments and prejudices. Beginner's mind is just present to explore and observe things as they are. Harmon tells the story of having lunch with her small child, Indigo, and she says there they were, and Indigo saw an object on the table and got very interested just engaging with this thing without any previous idea of what it was. For him, it was just interesting, and it was a delight to see what he could do with it. And she says, you and I would see it and say, it's a spoon. It sits there and you use it for soup. For us, it doesn't have the myriad possibilities that he finds in it. Harmon asks, can we look at our lives in such a way? Can we look at all the aspects of our lives with this mind, open to see what there is to see? In preparation, let's sing together. It's number 1031 in your teal hymnal, Filled with Loving Kindness, or you can follow the lyrics up here. And let's rise in body and or spirit. We'll sing together.
Okay, I'm going to invite both Ethan and Hank to help with lighting the chalice. If Hank, come on up. Oh, our flame went out. That's a bad thing. No, not more fun. Because if I can't get it to light, I'll make you light it.
I have a reputation.
He can light it, and
I can never use that stupid lighter. I don't even know where it is. It got moved. Okay. Huh. Do you ever feel like there's something not working? There is oil in that thing, so it should. Oh yeah, you might need to put that thing up. Yeah, just push that up. Huh. It's not you.
Ethan, do you want to try using the match?
Yeah, let's just do the match, because I think that's...
I can use the match.
Okay.
I know.
Oh. Here, grab the match. And then just blow the match out. All right. So, thank you both for coming up. There is a lot of fire. Okay. Thank you. All right. never seen it quite light like that, and it wasn't you. So thank you both. It got more interesting than expected, and we have a bigger flame than expected. So now let us share in the reading of the fellowship's affirmation, and it's in your order of service. We gather together in a spirit of love, with justice as our guide. This is our chosen covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth with freedom, and to care for one another. And now it's time for all ages.
Before I begin our story for this morning, just a reminder that we have shifted to our summer schedule for children and youth, so there will be no formal classes until we resume our normal schedule in the fall. Instead, the nursery will remain open, and we will offer a supervised quiet reading space and crafts and activities for children. We will not be singing the children on their way, but after Joys and Concerns, I will be at the back of the sanctuary, and children are welcome to move quietly with me to those areas, or they can stay in the sanctuary with their family if they like. So, when I heard that this morning's topic was beginner's mind, I thought, that's not going to go well in a search engine if I just put in picture book for Buddhism's beginner's mind. But fortunately, I did come across this little gem of a story that I'm going to share with you this morning. It's called Southwest Sunrise, written by Nikki Grimes and illustrated by Wendell Miner. Too old to cry myself to sleep, I hide behind my baseball cap, close my eyes, and pout all the way from New York to New Mexico, mad about moving to a place of shadows. That's all I see when we land. Why are we here? What's so great about New Mexico? I wake up to a knife of sunlight slicing through the room Dad says is mine. I rub my eyes, stare out the barless window at a mountain striped in rainbow. Hey, who put that there? I didn't see it last night. I pad across a cool tile floor, spy a rope of red chili peppers dangling in the kitchen window. Bet it's the only color I'll find here. Everybody knows browns and tans are the only colors deserts are good for. Even so, I step outside to take a look around, gripping the field guide Mom gave me at breakfast. I flip through the pages, spot fancy named flowers and lots of bright shades I don't expect to find. Wait, there's the one called Wine Cup, spilling its burgundy beauty for me to drink up. Aren't those yellow bells? They wake up the desert with their silent ring. Oh, hot red firewheel flowers. Their tips flame yellow-orange across the canyon. There's a patch of calypso orchids. So glad I didn't miss them dancing purple in the wind. Mom will love these. What do you know? Opposite our house, I discover another kind of color. A house made of pinkish clay with edges round as bubbles. Adobe. I shiver from the silence unbroken by the familiar sound of sirens, but not for long. A few yards down the road, I pick up the mad chatter of winged gossips passing secrets from one unfamiliar tree to another. The guidebook calls them pinyon trees. Someone should tell these flying chatterbox magpies are beautiful when their beaks are still, when they sail on air and right across the sky with the long black tips of their tails. I look up, try to understand the deep waves of turquoise overhead. I search for the end of the blue, but there is none. Where was all this sky in New York City? Was it hiding? Never mind the sky. I still miss the feeling of wow craning my neck to study the tops of skyscrapers. I lower my eyes to watch where I'm going. A giant black bird parades by, feathers slick as wet hair. I cluck at him like he's a simple city crow, but the guidebook says he's a raven. The kingly bird cocks his proud head and stares me down for the insult, then slowly struts away, certain I can't catch him. My early morning walk kicks up another surprise, one stunned cousin of the alligator. I squat down, catch the lizard with cupped hands, feel his curved digits skitter along my palm, as ready to run as I am to let him. I shade my eyes from the desert sun and squint. The river of sand washes up bleached bones like seashells at Jones Beach. Rib, bird skull, turtle shell. What stories do they have to tell? I reach road's end, turn the corner, and am startled by stone towers off in the distance, red rock pillars holding up the sky. Daddy should have told me this new place has its own skyscrapers. Jaden, I hear Mom's voice cut through the quiet. Time to head back, but not before I pick a few flowers. I wave to Mom where she waits on the porch, flash her a fistful of flowers and the first smile she's seen since New York. Maybe I can think about calling this place home.
This is the time we set aside for the offering in order to give towards the financial vitality of this community. Also, 25% of the undesignated collection each week goes to an organization in the local community that we partner with. For the month of June, we are partnering with the Ripple of One. Each week, we also collect non-perishable food for the Clemson Community Cares Food Bank. You may give by going to the UUFC website and using the donate button. You will see options for paying your pledge and donating towards the organizations that we partner with. And we thank you for your generosity. This is the time that we share our joys and concerns. It is a sacred sharing, reminding us of our connection to community and the knowledge that we are not alone. I've asked Eve to place a stone into the vessel representing our shared community for each joy and concern shared. And we have a lot of them today, so just bear with me. First one is a joy from Sue and Jim Knoll, who are celebrating their 65th wedding anniversary on Friday. Yeah. That's wonderful. Congratulations. I better be over here so you can actually hear me. The next one is from Sarah Summers Hoskins. Her joy is that she enjoyed listening to the gentle thunder and rain early this morning. The next one is from Mike Cole, which is another joy. He says it is great to have our gray Prius repaired and back in our garage. Yep, always nice when they can fix it. And hopefully it didn't cost you an arm and a leg. Donna Brazil says, prayers of confirmation of peace, great gratitude and healing during more scans and surgery. I am well. So a concern first and a joy now. Congratulations. John Hoskins, I just returned from visiting my sister in Pennsylvania. She is out of the hospital and doing good. Thank you for your concerns. So another first concern and now a joy, and we're glad for you. Barbara Stroop has a joy, and that is sharing Carrie's publication and writing success. And for those of you who don't know, Carrie Moss published a book just recently, and I guess it's going well, so that is wonderful news. Dave Sanders, his joy is solar project update. The project has gone out for bid. Bids are due by the end of June, more to follow in a month. And we did meet the initial goal, but if anyone still wants to provide additional funds, if we exceed the goal and exceed what the bid is, it's possible they could do more. So, but we thank everyone for their generosity, for everyone who participated. Margaret Breger. Oh, okay. Coston, is that how you say your last name? Okay. It is a pleasure to visit my UU historical home and be with my brother Louis. Greetings from the UU congregation in Santa Rosa, California. And we're glad you're with us. And the last one is from Meg Williamson, and it's a joy. Her husband, Joey, and her are celebrating their 40th anniversary today. And the celebration will continue with a 2-week trip to England and Scotland. Well, we envy you. I know envy's bad, but I'm sorry, I envy you. So those are our joys. We had a few that were joys and concerns combined, but mostly joy, which is wonderful. And one final stone for any joys and or concerns that weren't shared, and also for the current situation with different things in the world, with places like Gaza, places like Ukraine, and peace would be nice. So, and now a musical meditation from Cory.
Thank you, Cory. So this reading, half story, half reading, is from the book Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind by Suzuki Roshi. And it's his telling of a parable from the Zen Buddhist tradition that you may be familiar with already. So here's how it goes. A man once went to go see a Zen master. And when they were seated across the table from each other, the man asked the Zen master to explain the meaning of Zen. But after he asked the question, the man started talking about all that he already knew about Zen. And the Zen master sat patiently listening without interrupting for a while before setting 2 teacups on the table. And as the man talked on and on, the Zen master began to fill the man's cup with tea. But instead of stopping when the cup was full, He kept pouring until the tea ran over the lip of the cup, onto the table, off the table. And the man said, flabbergasted, "What are you doing? Can't you see the cup is full?" According to Suzuki Roshi's telling, the Zen master replied, "I want to point out to you that you are similarly trying to understand Zen while your mind is full. First, empty your mind of preconceptions before you attempt to understand. If your mind is empty, it is always ready for anything. It is open to everything. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few." So you all got a glimpse of Ethan and Hank, my kiddos. I drive them to school every day, and there's always this flurry of activity when we're getting ready in the morning, pulling on socks, trying to figure out what to have for breakfast, setting the timer to play for what I'm always told is a woefully inadequate amount of time. Then we stumble toward the car, I strap them in, hand them their toothbrushes so they can multitask on the drive. Before I hop in, notice for the 80th time the pile of trash in front of the passenger seat and shake my head, Eve, 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 and start driving. There's never any lack of conversation during our drives. And somehow, no matter where my mind is as we're making our way, the kids are able most mornings, casually, out of nowhere, to pull me with them into a state of wonder. Once, my oldest child, Ethan, asked me, "Mommy, what are those ropes in the sky?" And maybe you can picture right away what he was talking about, but I had no idea, so I looked everywhere, taking him at his word and looking for these actual ropes that must have escaped my attention somehow all this time. The lines that planes leave behind? No, my youngest Hank also seemed to know about these ropes and find me comically out of touch. Oh, the power lines. Once we confirmed that we were indeed talking about the same thing, they, of course, asked, "What do power lines do?" And if you are an electrician, I apologize to you in advance. But I said, well, they do a lot, I guess, but one thing is they carry light to the grocery store, in your school, in our house. So when you turn the light on, it works. To Ethan and Hank, that was a very cool and very satisfactory answer. Like magic, Hank said. Pretty much, yeah. Ethan and Hank approach life with an empty cup. They are still able to see simply what is there. They greet the world with curiosity, knowing no other way. We had a neighbor once who always seemed to be out in his yard building something or fixing something. And as I'd drive down our street, he'd be in view for about 15 seconds. So I had these daily 15-second snapshots of this guy. And he's a tall white man with a long, bushy beard and some tattoos. And I'd always find myself looking around for his motorcycle, thinking, this guy has got to have a motorcycle. And the first few times we ran into him while walking, we'd exchange a few pleasantries. And I noticed there was a tattoo on the inside of one of his forearms that seemed particularly bold and pronounced. But it was always mostly covered, and I could never get a good look at it without making it too obvious that that's what I was trying to do. So all I could get out of the corner of my eye was a flash of something red. And I decided he must have grown up rural somewhere in the Carolinas, not far from me. And I knew we would not agree politically, so I figured it was best to not talk about it. And I grumbled to myself about how he obviously felt comfortable sporting a tattoo that I was fairly certain was a Confederate flag. So one evening, my neighbor and his wife and their 3-year-old were sitting around the fire pit in their front yard, and we saw them as we came back for our walk, and they asked us, "Why don't you join us?" And we were eager for some adult conversation, who cares with who or about what, so we said yes. As it turns out, my neighbor with his long, bushy beard and his wife and little one had recently moved from Chicago, where they grew up. He stays home with their daughter while his wife works during the day. And when he rolled up his sleeves to make some adjustments to the fire, I finally got a good look at that red tattoo on the inside of his arm. It was his daughter's name, surrounded by red flowers. When I complimented him about the tattoo, he smiled and explained, "Oh, those flowers were in bloom when she was born." When Suzuki Roshi describes beginner's mind, he speaks of the mind that is not already made up. On the walk back to our house, I tried to declutter my mind of whatever other preconceptions and assumptions about this man that I had collected and stored 15 seconds at a time, trying belatedly to make some room for all I did not know about him. Sometimes when I am running late, I swear that school buses hide somewhere waiting until they see me coming, which is when they turn on their flashing lights and the stop sign swings out and cars in both directions have to stop and wait for God knows how long. And often when this happens, I sit there cursing the fates, feeling an eternity tick by until finally, I'm able to move forward and go about my day. But the other morning, I was not running late yet, and I was returning from an early morning swim with my sister. And the rhythm of my arms and legs, the alternating bursts of cool air and then the warmth of the pool with each stroke, the feeling of being held by the water had emptied my mind for a moment of its clutter. And there it was, a school bus. Lights flashing, stop sign extended. No matter what the driver of each car was rushing toward, everyone stopped in both directions, and we waited. We watched together as this precious, pint-sized being walked around the bus, oversized backpack bouncing to and fro, and climbed inside. And I was struck still by the beauty of this ritual, as if I'd never seen it before. When a child walks into the road for a moment, everything stops. For that moment, they become our child. And together we hold the edges of this safe space for them, sending them off into a day that we won't get to hear about later, but knowing in some small way we played our part. In the early morning light, an experience that had become fixed and stale and tiresome was somehow new again. The Buddhist abbess Blanche Harmon writes, "Beginner's mind is the mind that's just exploring, open to whatever occurs, curious, seeking but not with expectation or grasping, just being there and observing and seeing what occurs, being ready for whatever experience arises in that moment." This practice of clearing our minds to receive the world anew, as if for the first time, makes it possible for us to begin again in any moment. We do not have to wait for a change in season or some pivotal transition in our lives. Beginner's mind is always there inside of us. If we are rushing ahead with our day and forgetting to be amazed by the world around us, or we see someone and decide within seconds that we know their story, know what they think, how they act, who they are, or when we forget that something mundane or routine is sacred. It is in our power with practice to pause, breathe, clear our mind of certainties, and begin again, curious and open. It will keep happening. We will be fooled again into thinking that we already know everything we more times just today. A busy mind that tells rather than listens, projects reality rather than receiving it. But if we pause long enough, hold still long enough, and just notice, take note of what we are thinking or feeling, in that beat, that space, that quiet, the possibility of a new awareness emerges. It becomes possible to notice when we've stopped really seeing something or someone we look at every day. To notice when we feel awfully steadfastly, unmovingly certain about something or someone. In that pause, we may notice that our mind has grown so full that there's no room for wonder or beauty to surprise us. If we are willing to practice emptying ourselves of preconceptions, assumptions, expectations, if we are willing to practice letting go of our fixed or rigid understanding of the way things are, in any moment we are given, we can begin again. We can receive with an open mind and a curious heart the world around us and the life we have as if for the first time. Now, would you be with me in a time of meditation and prayer, just becoming a little more aware of if you're even slightly comfortable and adjusting? And close your eyes if that feels right. And then before we do anything with breath, just noticing the weight of your body in your chair, feet on the ground. Notice what your shoulders are doing. If they're making their way up toward your ears, just invite them back down. Notice, are your palms relaxed? Your jaw? And then start to invite your breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And start to make the exhale longer than the inhale. You might even curl forward a little bit because you exhale so fully. Before you invite that good oxygen in again through your nose, feeding every cell, then letting go of what you don't need in your exhale. And as you breathe this way, just notice what is speaking to you most in your mind, in your body. Might be a feeling. Maybe a feeling that you can give a name to. Or maybe it's just a tightness in your chest. As you breathe in, just nourishing that feeling, letting it be just what it is. Or maybe it's a sensation, an ache, tingle, maybe a spaciousness. Just saying to whatever arises, feeling or sensation, I see you. I'm here for you. I'll be here with you while you're feeling what you need to feel. Nothing to fix, nothing to change. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Pausing, breathing. Let's just take 2 more deep breaths. Pausing, breathing, beginning again. Blessed be. Amen. Now we're going to sing our last hymn together. It's number 1009 in the teal hymnal if you read music, or you can follow along. And Cory and I decided we're going to do it 5 times through, just the main melody. And if you're a singer and you want to play with joining the other parts, that would be great. I will not be doing that, but please try. Let's rise in body and or spirit. May we receive the hours and days ahead as unexpected gifts, pausing to listen, notice, marvel at what possibilities emerge.
Yes.